Discussions in a classroom can take many forms, even over the course of a single class conversation with your students. You may talk to one student, you may have students break up into groups to talk about a particular topic, or you may guide them through a series of conversations around a question that you propose to them at the beginning of class. In an online class, however, it's a good idea to determine well in advance what kind of discussion you'd like to have with your students and tie those to how much time you can devote to guiding your students through that question online. Now, there are 4 different kinds of discussion forums that you may wish to consider employing in your online class. So let's pretend that, for the moment, that you are asking your students to find an online resource or example that is associated with the topic you're exploring at that moment in your class. The first kind of conversation you may wish to structure for your students has to do with providing them with basic feedback. So students may post an example for your consideration, and you provide basic feedback, encouragement, and responses to what they've found to make sure that they're finding the right kind of resource. A second kind of discussion you may wish to facilitate with your students is one in which you ask them to, again, provide you with an online example or resource they've found, and you provide more in-depth and direct feedback with follow-up or redirecting types of questions. This allows you to get more in-depth into the nature of what students have found online and evaluate it as an effective example for what they should be looking for. A third type of discussion forum you might have with your students on this topic has to do with building more of a sense of community amongst your students. So students may post an example of something they found online, and in your role you provide them in-depth and direct feedback, but you also seek to make connections amongst students and compare what they've found so that they may evaluate their examples with what other students have found in order to have them share ideas amongst themselves. A final kind of discussion forum you may wish to have is asking your students to again find examples of resources online, but students then are encouraged to respond to each other and take on more of a facilitation role in guiding and shaping the conversation as it unfolds online. And in thinking about these kinds of discussions online, it's important to again remember that time is a crucial element. Make sure the students have enough time to digest the question that you're asking them, to find or craft a response for you, and to work amongst themselves as a class.